Hey everyone, this is a quick kind of rundown of this system that I've used for the last few sets and live sets. The idea here was to build a system that can do 1 to 2 hours of techno. I think the longest I played was 1.5 hours. And yeah, like just build it and don't touch it for 1 or 2 months to just try to practice with the modules that I have. And I thought I'd do a quick video before I now start to change it again, because there's a few things I'm not super happy with, but you know, some things worked out well, I would say. So like broadly, we have here the key step that controls this Eurorack system. And yeah, kind of the goal is to make techno. So there's a few drums and there's a few synths. The first is like a bassline, which is literally just one line of this Quad VCO from Doepfer, the square part. Going through a filter. And pulse width modulated. So if you turn that off, you can see how like that changes the sound. We have a lead voice, which is this guy. This is the next 2 lines of the Quad VCO. This is kind of vaguely inspired by the DFAM, although I don't think it sounds as nice as the DFAM. So the idea is to have 2 square waves and offset them in pitch. And then optionally have an envelope on the pitch of the second one. So this is clean. This is the envelope. And then also mix in some noise. And all of this goes into a 24 dB low pass, which also can use a bit of noise on the gate. Which makes it sound really gnarly. And then that goes into the mixer. Now, one thing you can hear already is I'm using these knob recorders a lot to change the sound. So let's quickly mute everything except the voice. So now I can press record here. Do a movement, press stop, and now this movement will repeat. Nice to kind of make some dynamic stuff into the set. The next thing we have is the SY05. I like to use this as a sub bass kind of sound. Maybe a bit too like that's one use. The other use is to actually use it as a funky voice. Especially in the random pitch mode. I don't know, it can be quite fun to add as breaks. And then we have the BIA also in the last part. I use it either like this, as like a metallic thing, or as a high-pitched cutesy voice. And then if you're in this mode, it plays really well with an arpeggiator. So let's unmute it. Do an arp. It's like a nice airy-fairy. I have another knob recorder and this guy on the harmonic content. I have two effects. I have the Soundhack Mimeophone as a clocked delay, super awesome module, and the Desmodus as a reverb. And one thing I saw from a few other guys is what's really nice is to crank up the feedback and the tone here for drops. So let's try to hear this. Into the feedback, and this is the tone, like which is just a filter on the feedback tank. This one goes into the repeats up here, so that can also be nice. Yeah, and so all of these voices get mixed together, get added to the Kickain for sidechain compression, so that's super nice. Let's hear it, so let's mute everything again. So if we take the drum out, we can hear the sidechain by itself. So this is with sidechain, without. So I can hear it kind of, disables the sound a bit when the kick hits, making some space. I will say I didn't have a lot of luck with the modes that were not normal. Like they have some frequency spectrum based modes that I didn't like. And so this gets kind of all summed together up into this mixer, and then we add some drums. So I used to Rample with some 909 sounds. So I have toms, claps, rides, and snares. And I have a few, but I usually only use one. What I like is the filter. So each line has a built-in filter, giving you some control. And I don't know, I really like the rides to kind of make. Okay, that didn't work out, but yeah. Anyway, so we have these 909s. We have the Hats 909 as a dedicated module with hi-hats closed and open, and I also have an accent. So now this guy's accented, this guy's hidden. Yep. This goes into the BXX2 for like some shaping of the hi-hats. And because I had space, I also added a 2 HP hi-hat. Sounds a bit different, and I don't know, it's like nice to break up stuff. The other thing you notice probably is that I have this, what is it, the Distinct Mark IV as the very last module. So all of the audio mix goes into this guy, and I use it as a DJ style high pass filter, which is controlled by this knob. So you can see if I turn this up, we go into high pass. And this, like, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, so that's the modules, I think. So we have the quadraux to make envelopes for the voices. We have the Turing machine as an alternative to sequencing here. So, now it's sequenced by this guy. If I switch this up, the melody comes from here, but the triggers still come from here. This kind of allows me to, you know, if I get tired of making my own melodies, I could just use this guy. I have the LFO. This is just used to do the pulse width modulation of the bassline. Yeah, I have the Guillotine as like a distortion on the bassline and on the BIA. So if I switch this up, it gets really nice. And same on the bassline. Yeah, so that's this guy. And yeah, obviously the FH2 to connect the case with the sequencer. Kind of, if I do live shows, I don't want to connect all these cables because this guy sequences a lot of stuff here. Yeah, so that's kind of the case. I think like it did okay. Like the main thing I don't like is the way the lead voice sounds. Like I don't know, the pitch envelope is making it too aggressive. And I mean, as you notice, none of this is quantized, so it can easily sound very weird. Like it is still nice if you do like something like this. I think I will replace this. I do like the bassline, that simple square wave. I think I'll keep that. I do like the Rample as like a 909 replacement. The SY05 is super versatile, super nice. BIA, obviously, very good module. Also, I really like this kind of setup here with the knobs to create like drops and fills. Yeah, obviously very happy with the effects. Like, yeah, I make use of them a lot, maybe too much. Like if you listen to this style without any effects, sounds very different. The other thing I was thinking today is like the Turing machine is nice to make some melodies, but I used it less and less, and it does use a lot of space. So like together with the switch, I think I could use this space differently. Also, I have this Turing machine up here because I didn't know what else to put, but I ended up not using it. Like in theory, if I switch this knob up, the BIA sequenced with it, but I ended up almost never sequencing the BIA. Yeah, what I really like is the knob recorders. I think they really kind of push this case into something that, you know, sounds bearable for 1 to 2 hours, just because they break up the repetition. I obviously love the HATS 909. Not super sure about this. I mean, I just put it because I had space, but I think what I would rather put is the 2HB play and have some samples, because that's one thing that I really miss here, like voice samples of some people saying random stuff. I think they can be really nice in techno. Yeah, yeah, that's about it.